Salvete discipuli, and welcome to Latin Lesson 12a. We're going to start, as we always do, with your new list of verba latina. You see those on the board behind me. As always, I'm going to say the Latin word, give you the English translation, then ask you to say it with me. After that, we'll pause the video so that you can write them all down. So I don't want you to write them down now. I just want you to listen to the words and learn some new words with me. Today, our new unit, Unit 12, deals with numbers. So we're going to learn how to say numbers 1 through 10, just like you would learn when you were a little boy or a little girl. Maybe you have a little brother or a little sister, and they're learning how to count to 10 right now. Well, this would have been one of the first things that maybe a little brother or a little sister would have learned when they were in Rome and learning Latin. So let's start with the first one. Number 1 is unus, which means 1. Unus means 1. 1 is unus. Number 2, duo. Duo. Duo means 2. 2 is duo. Number 3, tres. Don't forget to trill your R. Tres. Tres. Tres is 3. 3 means tres. Now, if you know another language, or maybe if your parents know another language, like if you have a parent or mom or dad who speaks Spanish, these might sound familiar to you. In Spanish, it's not unus, duo, tres, it's uno, right? And that's similar. Uno, dos, close to duo, right? Tres, same. Then in Spanish, it's cuatro, and they get that from the Latin word quatuor. Quatuor means 4. 4 is quatuor. Number 5 is quinque. Say quinque. Good job. Quinque is 5. Number 5 is quinque. Number 6 is sex. That's in English, the word sex, it means a man or a woman. When you're trying to say, what sex is that person? He's a man. What sex is that person? She's a woman. What sex is that dog? It's a man, it's a woman, it's a boy, it's a girl, it's male, it's female. That's what the word sex means in English. But in Latin, the word sex was the number 6. And that's actually where we get our number 6 from. We get it from the Latin word sex, which means 6. 6. Number 7, septem. Septem. Septem means 7. Number 7 is septem. Number 8, octo. Octo. Number 8 is octo. Octo means 8. The number 8 is octo. Number 9, novem. Remember, this is the Latin letter w, and it does not make the v sound. It makes the w sound. So this is novem. And novem means 9. The number 9 is novem. Next, decem. Remember the Latin letter ke does not make a s sound or a ch sound. It makes a k sound, like an English K. Decem is 10. The number 10 is decem. Number 11, we have a C again. Centum. Centum. Centum means 100. So we've jumped from the number 10 all the way up to the number 100. Centum means 100. 100 means centum. We're going to jump again. This is the word mille. Mille means 1,000. 1,000 is mille. Last, number 13, well, not last, we have a couple more after that. Number 13 is the Latin word for number. It means number. So you could say numerus unus, number 1. Numerus duo, number 2. Numerus tres, number 3, and so on. Now look at this. Pay close attention here. Do you see the difference between this word and that word? Just the ending, right? Numerus is number, but numero is I count, or I number, all right? And that's important because remember, Latin is all about those endings. One of these are different words. It's not the same word with a different spelling. It's a different word. And so numerus is number 1, number 2, number 3. But numero is I count. Numero, numeras, you count. Numerat, he counts, and so on. Number 15, our last one, augeo. Augeo. Augeo means I increase. I increase. Like to make something bigger, all right? Doesn't mean that you're getting bigger. It means that you're making something else get bigger. You increased the amount of food that you ate at dinner last night. I increase, okay? So those are your new verba latina, your new Latin vocab words. What I want you to do now is pause this video and write all of these down. Take a moment to do that, and then when you're finished, come back and we're going to continue with learning a new noun chant this week. All right, you get all those verba latina written down? Good job. Well, I just mentioned a moment ago that we are going to learn a new chant together. But if you're paying close attention, you may have noticed I said a noun chant, not a verb chant. Now, what's a noun? What's a verb? Well, you know these from your English class with your mom or your dad, where you're learning about nouns and verbs. Well, nouns and verbs are in Latin just like they are in English. A noun is a person, a place, or a thing, right? It's an object. It's something you can touch, something you think about. That's what a noun is. A verb is an action, right? It tells you about something, what something does, or might tell you about its state of being. Okay, so you've learned so many verb chants so far. OST, MUST, ES and te, the present tense verb chant. You learned the future tense verb chant, right? Bo bis bit, bimus bitis bunt. So not I go, that's present tense, but I will go, that's the future tense. And then you learn the imperfect tense, right? Bom, bos, bot, bomus, batis, bont. That's I was going, you were going, something like that. And then you learn the sum chant, sum ss, sumus estis sunt, which is the verb to be in Latin. So it is the verb chant of I am and you are, he is, we are, you are, they are. And then post-sum, right? You learned so many verb chants. That's awesome. Keep it up. However, now we're going to learn a noun chant. That's because in Latin, as we said earlier in the video today, Latin is all about the endings. That's the difference between numerus, a number, and numero, I count. It's all about the endings. So these endings that we're going to learn, and we're going to talk more about them in the next video later this week. These endings that we're going to learn are some noun endings. Now, let me tell you something special about nouns in Latin. Nouns in Latin have special families. They sort of like to hang out together and they look like each other. Just like you might look like your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister, and you look a little different than them because you're not a twin, you're not the same, but you look like them. You belong to the same family. And you don't look like that guy over there or that girl over there because they are a different family. Latin nouns have families, and we call those families declensions, which is a really boring word. It's a terrible word, but sometimes people who study grammar are terribly boring people. So that's just the truth that you need to go ahead and understand. The declension is another word for family. So if you see that word, declension, in your student workbook, I want you to remember that means a Latin family. The word declension doesn't mean family. It means a category of something that falls away, but that's boring. Just think family. See these? This is like a family. And look, there's some resemblances here, aren't there? Look, they're repeating a lot of the letter A in most places. And what I want you to see is that there would be whole words that belong to this family, and they would all have these endings. They're called first declension nouns. They all belong to the same family, and they all use these endings. So we're going to learn these endings together today, and then we'll talk and explain a little bit more about how they work in the next video. So let's just practice memorizing them together, okay? Let me say them, and then we'll chant them together, all right? I, ah. Don't forget the macron there. I, arum, is, as, is. Macrons on all three of those. Very important. Very, very important. Okay? That you get those macrons on all of those places where they are located. Here too, arum. All right? I, ah. I, arum, is, as, is. All right? We're going to say it together. Just like we do with our verb chants. Ready, go. I, ah. I, arum, is, as, is. Would it be easier if I pointed the board? 1, 2, ready, go. I, ah. I, aurum, is, us, is. You can do it a little faster if that helps you. You can pretend that you are on an island somewhere and there's some tribal drums banging in the distance, and the sound of the crowd is getting louder, and the chant as you get closer becomes clearer and clearer, and the tribes are saying, ah, I, aurum, is, us, is. They're all practicing their first declension nouns, and you have no idea why a tribe of Moana's family on an island in the middle of the Pacific would be chanting Latin, but there they are, banging their drums and chanting their Latin chants. I, I, aurum, is, us, is. You need to be able to say that from memory without looking at it. So to help you do that, one of the things you're going to do for your homework this week is you're going to practice writing all these down and then saying them over and over and over again until you can do it without looking. I, right? You got to be able to do it without looking. I. Then go back, look at it, and then cover it up, say it again, right? I, aurum, is, us, is. Now cover it up. I, aurum, is, us, is. Just like that. 2 charts, singular and plural. One side, then the other. 5 different lines, just like that. Make sure that these are on the same line, because that's gonna be very important, so we're gonna learn about that later. Your mom and dad can help you make a chart. Right now, it's just your job to practice that. That's one part of your homework. The next part of your homework is to practice your vocabulary by going to page 86 in your book and write down the Latin words that correspond to the English, or just like they've done already here for you in the book. Okay, so page 86, part B, you're gonna do the opposite of what we did today. We wrote the English for the Latin words in your notebook, and then now you're gonna write the English word for the Latin one in your workbook, okay? That's great. You've done an awesome job today. I'm excited to keep talking some more with you about nouns in the next video. Until then, walete.